Hello, this is the second time around I'm doing this video because I totally botched the ending of that one. And plus I sounded more cranky than anything. And I don't want to put that out there because that's not what I'm doing this for. It's not just to vent about me and my issues. It's about educating people on their rights and their human rights and what to watch out for when it comes to human trafficking and how to prevent it and how to stop it in its tracks. So first, I'm going to tell you that we're covering Article 3 today, which is the life, liberty, and personal security. Oxford Dictionary defines liberty as the state of being free within the society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. And the Article 3 protects people from unlawful or arbitrary deprivation of liberty and from suffering bodily harm or mental injury. Now, I looked up, I thought of, oh, look at that, cigarette stains, good gravy. I've been smoking too much. I was looking at, I thought of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And then I remembered the movie, The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith. But going back, the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness is actually in the Declaration of Independence. And it's not legally binding, but people often quote it. And, so let's see here. I looked it up. The right to life, liberty, and security of a person is a fundamental human right that is protected by both international and domestic law. You have the right to life. This right is engaged when state action or the law threatens death or increases the risk of death. It also includes concerns about autonomy and quality of life. States have an obligation to protect their citizens from threats to life, which can come from many sources, including state executioners, criminal gangs, armed groups, neighbors, or partners. So, nobody has the right to threaten you with violence. No one has the right to, states have the obligation to protect their citizens from threats to life. The state is obligated to step in instances of social issues and, well, not really social issues as it is legal issues regarding your human rights, your constitutional rights, and your civil rights. It is the duty of the law to protect its citizens, to protect life. And if somebody is threatening someone's life, it is the duty of the law enforcement to take a step in. And people have the right to feel safe in being able to contact and speak with law enforcement without threats of violence or their rights being impugned upon. States have to protect their citizens. Right to liberty. This right refers to freedom from unlawful or arbitrary confinement of the body. It requires that people not be arrested or detained except as provided by law, and that the arrest or detention is not arbitrary. People who are arrested or detained must be informed of the reason for their arrest or detention at the time of the arrest and must be promptly informed of any proceedings that may be brought against them. Now, the right to security is, this right has both physical and psychological aspects. The physical aspect includes state action that prevents someone from making choices that affect their own body or indirect state actions such as laws that put health at risk. The psychological aspects is affected when a person experiences serious state-imposed stress, such as when the state threatens to remove children from their parents. The right to security also includes freedom from the threat of physical punishment or suffering and from severe psychological harm. So, playing with somebody's head is not okay. There's it's a matter of, all I can think of is MK Ultra. That's the only thing that comes to mind right now. Because I was thinking of what would be the motive and who would have the money, the funds, the resources to turn someone's phone into a group chat. That still boggles my mind. Anyway, that's the Fifth Amendment and 14th Amendment actually go along with Article 3. Fifth Amendment states that no one can be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. It also states that private property cannot be taken for public use without just compensation. And 14th Amendment is covered under that as well. So this is a little bit shorter than my other video. I just want to keep it short and sweet this time. And because I find that I'm like, either there's long silences and you're just like waiting for me to talk. And since I'm not good at editing, and honestly, because everybody's watching me anyways, you know, editing is kind of a moot point. So at the end of the first video, it's just like, I'm going to redo this because this sucks. Because I thought it sucked. And the difference between, you know, most people and myself is that most people have the chance to go back and edit their videos, and they have their intro, or they can take snippets and stuff and do little fun things with their beginning. And that's so cool how you guys do your intros and stuff. It's so cool. Each one is so unique. And but I don't know how to do that, so I'm just my knowledge and expertise when it comes to electronics and stuff of that nature is, falls between the realm of between jack and shit, right there in the middle. So that's why I've avoided that. My son actually had to show me how to work some things, but that's not exactly at all surprising. He's awesome at electronics and stuff. He picks up on stuff really, really quickly. But I just wanted to jump on because I haven't been on here for a few days, and I'm not quitting my series or anything. There was another video I wanted to do about identifying human trafficking victims online, because personal experience, and there are other factors that actually there's like the standard list of aspects to look out for when you're in public and stuff, and you're looking out and seeing if there's trafficking victims and you see something suspicious. There are things to look out for online, and I'm working on compiling a list of things. I had one written down on my phone, but I don't know where it went, or I might have accidentally deleted it or saved it somewhere else. I don't know. But go through that because they actually overlap a great deal. So that'll be in a future video. And another video will be how to respond to someone if you have if you think that someone's being trafficked but you're not quite sure. Actually, what I'm going to do with this video and every other video is I will put the human trafficking hotline, so you guys will have it right in the description box with all my videos. I'll go back through it and get it for you guys. And keep that number, put it into your phone, put it on speed dial. And I will say one thing is that your first thing that you want to do is observe. Look at the telltale signs. If you can get close enough to the person to say hi or talk to them, you could try. But if it's not safe, you got to watch out for yourself as well as the victim. So I'll get back with you guys on that. but there's a hotline that you can call. And it's advisable that if you see any of the signs of human trafficking, to call that hotline, give the description of the individual, time, place, circumstances, and even there are, instances where you don't even have to interact with the victim. It just allows law enforcement to know what to look for and who to look for. So it's a heavy load to bear, especially when you're doing it on your own. And a lot of times, because there is a lot of things in this situation that are grossly untrue, and it has been. And the length of time and the popularity of this. That's what it makes this entire situation all the more chaotic, is because of how high profile it is. That's all I can. That's the only thing I can think of. The only descriptor I have is it's high profile. People know. I get recognized but side-eyed. But just another day. Just another day. And you just got to do with what you can with what you have. And some days are easier than others. There are points of time that are more difficult than others. And with the increased amount of people who call me a liar, when I've never even seen this profile or even know what it looks like. You guys have chat boxes on your end? It's hard to say. I don't know. I don't know what this looks like on the other side. I haven't seen it. But until the day that I do, I'm going to continue on talking to you guys about human rights. You have the right to live and not be afraid. You have the right to live the way you want to live without people butting their nose in, or the law saying, no, you can't because of I don't like the way you live, or I don't like the way you talk, or I don't like your, the way you dress. I don't, don't matter. And it sounds redundant to say, but we all bleed red, but we are all buried. And depending on your height, they're the same size coffin, same depth. Unless you choose to, get planted in the earth like under a tree, or get squished into a diamond, or get cremated, or whatever you so choose. Nobody is any different, because at the end of the day, when our road comes to an end, we will all be buried in a box. That's an inevitable future for every single person on this planet. It's inevitable for me. I'm going to bite it someday. I don't know when. But I'm going to make do with the time that I've got. And some people might think that's wasted time, but I choose to do with my time what I want to do. And if I choose to make a video, I'll make a video. But honestly, the situation has given me no choice but to speak out on human rights. Because I didn't know mine before all this. I didn't even know what human rights were. I mean, I know human rights violation, but I thought that was kind of like, I knew of civil rights, but I knew just don't discriminate, right to privacy, just kind of the general. But as soon as I got my certificate, or as soon as this happened, I had the opportunity to get certified, and I took it. And it opened my eyes, and I learned from the one who instructed me that most people don't learn about their human rights until after, I think college, she said, or law school. That's not good enough. I got my certification through the USIDHR. For both my human rights certification and my human trafficking certification, or human trafficking prevention certification. And if you're interested, I can provide a link to that as well. But that shocked me, as I didn't know that much about human rights. I didn't know that my right to privacy was actually a human right, and I was born with it. So are you. Each and every one of you. We're born with 30 human rights. See, the states, the government gives us rights. They're on loan, basically. Human rights are ones that we're born with. And it's covers the span of every single person on this planet. No matter if people hate you or if they like you. If you're, you know, big, little, brown, white, it don't matter. You were born with a set of 30 rights from the moment you took your first breath. And I suppose the rights that the government gives us aren't so much on loan, but I guess in my situation, I'm a little bit jaded in that respect because, you know. And, but everybody is entitled. And the reason why these human rights violations happen, when constitutional rights are infringed upon and civil liberties and civil rights are infringed upon, it is not just the person's who's experiencing that. It's not just their problem. It becomes everybody's problem. Why? Because human rights. And because you're covered under human rights, because you're covered under the Constitution. So, no one can take those away from you. You were born with them. They can try. But the more we overlook the bigger picture, which is the right to privacy, human rights in general, constitutional rights, civil rights. That's the bigger picture. And it's like it becomes a popularity contest. The Hunger Games. And I'm wondering, Actually, it kind of does make sense a bit. The correlation to my situation in the Hunger Games. But I may have given up hope on this being resolved for myself, but I want to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else. So I'm going to continue making these videos so you guys are aware and you are educated in your human rights. So if anything, even remotely hinting at violating, you'll be aware that it's happening, and so you can protect yourself and stand up for yourself. Because if you don't know your rights, you can't enforce them. Just like if you guys talking about boundaries. If you don't know what your boundaries are, you can't enforce them. If people don't know your boundaries, then they will continue to try and overstep. So that is all I have for now. I guess this isn't a short video after all. Actually, it's about 7 minutes longer or so than my other one. But I just wanted to touch base and talk to you guys about Article 3 of the Declaration of Human Rights. So I will be back at another time to talk to you about human rights again. You guys have a good day. I will talk to you later.